If you are of a certain age, you may have loved Louis Sachar's books as a kid. He wrote Holes, the one with Shia LaBeouf, and the Wayside School stories, which I found hysterically funny, and a bunch of other ones that I just devoured in elementary school. He just put out his first adult book called The Magician at Tiger Castle, and I was able to receive an ALC from Libro FM, and boy, was I excited when I got this. I literally squealed in anticipation. This story was just so fun and just what I needed. Don't forget to stay till the end, where I will give a snippet of the audiobook so you can see if you like the narrator and the writing style. So, the author has mentioned that this book is inspired by The Princess Bride, and oh my gosh, that was super evident in reading this story. Sachar has quite a self-deprecating type of humor, and he had his character break the fourth wall several times, which was very reminiscent of The Princess Bride. The book starts off with the magician Anatole. He is in modern times, and he is taking a tour of Tiger Castle and secretly grumbling to the readers about the tour guide's misinformation. He was there 400 years ago, and he will set the record straight, at least to the readers. And so we go back in time to look at his experience of working in Tiger Castle. What is the significance of this castle? Was there really a tiger? Is that even really important? The plot sounds familiar. Princess Buttercup, Princess Tulia, is refusing to marry because she is in love with another. However, the magician Anatole is ordered by the king to come up with a potion that will force the princess to go ahead with this marriage. He feels very conflicted. This could be the very thing to raise his status in the kingdom. He's kind of considered a joke right now. But he really, really disagrees with the fact of forcing the princess to marry. The magician is pretty slippery. He doesn't always do the right thing. He sometimes lacks the courage to do the right thing, and he blames others. But as we get to see this picture of him, he becomes this really fully realized person. Anatole was fascinating, and I was really enamored by this story. We get some very common tropes, but turned on their head a little bit. It feels equal parts familiar and refreshing. I found the story to be quite humorous. I actually laughed out loud several times, which is not a common feature in my reading. The chapters are very short and very compulsive. It was very easy to just say, oh, just one more chapter. Oh, just one more chapter. I have to know what's going to happen. So you're probably thinking to yourself, wow, this sounds like a cozy, wonderful, upbeat, feel-good read. And it is mostly. I would say it's cozy about 90% of the time. Whenever the story veered in a not so cozy way, it did kind of pull me out of the story. And I wish he would have committed to cozy, wholeheartedly, but as it was his first book for adults, it makes sense that he wanted to include some darker themes as well. It's really the only negative I have. So, just adjust your expectations and look up trigger warnings if you need to. So, I got an ALC, which is an advanced listening copy. So, I got the audiobook, and I'm going to specifically talk about the audiobook because I think that this is the best way to read this story. The narrator is Eduardo Ballerini, and I think he did a phenomenal job. Let's listen to a snippet so that you can see if you like the narrator and the writing style that Louis Sachar has. This is an early excerpt from the magician Anatole as he is talking directly to the readers.
My appearance was roughly the same then as it is now. I was 40 years old, with a bit of a paunch and no hair. By today's standards, I suppose I'd be considered short and dumpy, but in the 16th century, the average height for a man was about 5 feet 7 inches. I was only 3 or 4 inches below that. A healthy plumpness was a sign of prosperity, as well as a hedge against famine. By no hair, I'm not referring just to my head. My entire body was, and is, bald. This was an unintended consequence of an early experiment, conducted long before I came to the castle. Who knows? It may have helped me get the job. What king wants an ordinary-looking magician?
Not only do I think Eduardo Ballerini's narration is wonderful, I absolutely think that there is a part of this book that is better because of the audiobook. I highly recommend it, especially if you are in the mood to listen to a mostly cozy fantasy story with a dash of humor. This was super enjoyable, and I can't wait for his next book to come out. So, are you planning to read The Magician at Tiger Castle? Have you already read it? Let's have a chat down in the comments below. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye!